but the light picked out nothing but twisted metal, torn shreds of plastic, and, here and there, limbs and other parts of the crew. There was one particularly brutal glimpse of a head with part of a shoulder and an arm that ended just below the elbow. Bloody frost globules had formed around the head, but they still recognized it. "Tim," someone said. A woman's voice far to the rear of the room could be heard repeating, "Shit, shit, shit," until someone silenced her. The view blanked out, and he leaned back, feeling the ache between his shoulders. He knew he would have to identify that woman and have her transferred. No mistaking the near hysteria in her voice. Some harsh catharsis was indicated. He shut down the holopack's controls, flicked the switch for the room lights, then stood and turned in the blinking brilliance. "They're clones," he said, keeping his voice cold. "They are not human. They are clones, as is indicated by their uniform middle name of Lon. They are property. Anybody who forgets that is going off Moonbase in the next shuttle. That sign on my door says Morgan Hempstead, Director. There will be no more emotional outbursts in this room, as long as I am Director." 1. We call it Project Consciousness, and our basic tools are the carefully selected clones, our doppelgangers. The motivator is frustration. Thus, we design into our system false goals and things which will go wrong. That's why we chose Tau Ceti as the target. There is no livable planet at Tau Ceti. Morgan Hempstead, Lectures at Moonbase. "It's dead," Bickle said. He held up the severed end of a feeder tube, stared at the panel from which he had cut it. His heart was beating too fast, and he could feel his hands trembling. Fluorescent red letters 8 centimeters high spelled out a warning on the panel in front of him. The warning seemed a mockery after what he had just done. "Organic mental core, to be removed only by life systems engineer." Bickle felt an extra sense of quiet in the ship. Something, not someone, he thought, was gone. It was as though the molecular stillness of outer space had invaded the Earthling's concentric hulls and spread through to the heart of this egg-shaped chunk of metal hurtling toward Tau Ceti. His 2 companions were wrapped in this silence, Bickle saw. They were afraid to break the quiet moment of shame and guilt and anger and relief. "What else could we do?" Bickle demanded. He held up the severed tube, glared at it. Raja Lon Flattery, their psychiatrist chaplain, cleared his throat, said, "Easy, John. We share the blame equally." Bickle turned his glare on Flattery, noted the man's quizzical expression, calculated and penetrating, the narrow, haughty face that somehow focused a sense of terrible superiority within remote brown eyes and up-raked black eyebrows. "You know what you can do with your blame," Bickle growled, but Flattery's words destroyed his anger, made him feel defeated. Bickle swung his attention to Timberlake, Gerald Lon Timberlake, Life Systems Engineer, the man who should have taken responsibility for this dirty business. Timberlake, a quick and nervous scarecrow of a man with skin almost the color of his brown hair, stared at the metal deck near his feet, avoiding Bickle's eyes. Shame and fear. That's all Tim feels, Bickle thought. Timberlake's weakness, his inability to kill the OMC even when it meant saving the ship with its thousands of helpless lives, had almost killed them, and all the man could feel now was shame and fear. There had been no doubt about what had to be done. The OMC had gone mad, a wild, runaway consciousness. It had been a sick ball of gray matter whose muscles turned every